eng zo'r o'qituvchi kim bo'lgan? Ingliz tilida so'zlashib bilgan, kontekstlar bilan ishlay oladigan emas. Hech kim bilmaydigan grammatika qoidalarini topib kelib o'quvchilarga o'rgatib, maktabingdagi borib o'qituvchilarni sindirgan mana shu qoidalarni bilammi yo'qmi? Like, what's your IELTS score?
Yes, they instantly start questioning like your score.
The question: IELTS versus multilevel.
O'sha IELTS nimaligini tushunchasi bo'lmagan odam ham shu IELTS deb shu qiyin narsa ekanligini tushunishadi.
Bu ozgina hali speakingda imенно o'sha productive skilllarda ish borligini biladi. Lekin listening readinglari nisbatan yaxshi baholaydi, objective.
Ya'ni kim o'quvchilarning mehri, masalan, qiziqishi ingliz tiliga emas, aynan sertifikat olsam degan qiziqishi. Assalomu alaykum everybody. This is another episode of IELTS School podcast, and breaking from our tradition of inviting guests from other places. Today we decided to focus on introducing our own teachers and their views on teaching in general and teaching English specifically. So today with me in the studio I have Mr. Sarvar.
Assalomu alaykum.
And Mr. Asliddin.
Assalomu alaykum.
Both of whom have been able to successfully lead dozens of students to wonderful results, both in terms of their university acceptance and IELTS test scores. Well, right now I'm going to get to, I'm going to get you guys to introduce yourselves. Well, Sarvar, welcome to this podcast, first of all. We know you as a teacher who has taught a lot of students up to this point, but who are you? How would you introduce yourself as an educator, as a person?
Well, born and raised here in Navoy, graduated from Navoy State Pedagogical Institute in 2022 and have been teaching English, both general English and in terms of IELTS preparation since 2021.
All right. And what do you see as your main mission in education?
Probably the fact that learning is a journey and we're sort of the leaders, the ones who show the way to the students. And lifetime mission is to share and to guide as many people as possible.
All right. That's pretty impressive. And Asliddin, the same questions. We know you as a teacher, but who are you as a person? And what missions do you put forward for yourself as an educator?
I was also born in Navoy, and I graduated the university 2024 and started teaching probably around 2021. And since then I've been trying to help students achieve great results, many great results. And also me myself personally, I'm passionate about learning and seeing students achieving many great results.
All right. Well, that kind of sums up who we are, right? And if the audience wants, I can go like two. Well, you've seen me as a host in previous episodes, so there's not much to tell you about myself. But I don't think I've ever been able to tell about my mission in education. My mission in education is to contribute to the development of, let's say, educational initiatives put forward by the government. I've always been supportive of those, and I see myself as part of those as one tool that is, working to better implement those into the system of education.
Yes.
But our topic's a little bit informal today. We're not going to go all the way deep into education system and initiatives there with numbers, qaror and we're not taking a deep dive into that. Well, first of all, let's talk about your experience, guys, comparing it with now. Both of you have been in education as an English teacher for several years, and I assume that you started learning English like 10, 15 years ago. Let's first talk about the difference. What was different in terms of learning English then, and what is different now? What motivates students now, and what motivated students like 10, 15 years ago to learn English?
In the past.
Will you?
Okay. So basically, in the past, students used to learn basically only grammar, and only to achieve entrance acceptance for universities, local universities. It was limited. Learning English and teaching English was limited to GTM methods. However, now it has
What was
expanded.
it, like GTM methods?
GTM methods, like grammar translation methods, only grammar teaching, translating.
For a moment, I thought like GTA methods, like
No.
from the game
Like-
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it's GTM methods. But now it has expanded to learning English globally and improving their speaking, not only their grammar, but also improving their speaking, listening, and writing skills as well. So that they can get accepted to international universities. Yeah.
All right.
So probably 10 to 15 years ago, I think you were around that time, Faruk Aka, and you remember those times well. I think
33.
yeah. Resources were limited, and I think teaching English in general was limited down to what Asliddin pointed out. So grammar translation method. So back then it was probably more like chalk and talk, where educators would write down a list of vocabulary. So probably most of us from that generation learned the language that way. And I think we've come a long way since then, especially if you remember the resolution 1875, where we gradually shifted to CLT.
Well, you guys, I see you guys are not really proponents of teaching based on grammar and stuff, but do you think that learning grammar is not important at all?
No, I wouldn't say that. It's not what I meant. Of course, grammar is important. Since we are in Uzbekistan and we don't have a lot of English speakers in Uzbekistan, so to build the foundation first, students unfortunately need to learn grammar, build their foundation first, grammar and vocabulary, and then step by step they can move towards learning and improving the other skills, four skills. Yeah.
All right.
So you see, now, so times have changed. So back to your question, when we were starting, we didn't used to question the teacher's authority. Teacher was like kind of a role model for us. And in my case specific, this is what inspired me to start out this whole English journey. But the thing that I'm trying to say is that so nobody wants to learn grammar. Nobody wants to spend time, doing all those grammar drills and whatnot. They want to get their results fast. They want to be able to speak fluently in, shortest time as possible.
Yeah, but don't you guys think that grammar is fundamental for an accurate English and for a very good band score in IELTS, for example?
Yes, I definitely think so. Although, unfortunately, many students have been brainwashed by these Instagram reels. Yes. Like they watch these videos, that these videos claim to say that grammar is not at all important. They can start like from speaking or writing from the get-go. However, it's not the case. They should learn grammar. They should have a foundation in grammar. Good foundation, as you said, like to be able to speak accurately and without like making mistakes, right?
At the end of the day, even IELTS and many other international tests have grammar, both range and accuracy as part of their marking criteria, and there should be a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it was like a little bit different experience. I'll probably go Uzbek here. Biza ingliz tili o'qigan davrimizda bizaga grammatikani eng zo'r o'qituvchi kim bo'lgan? Ingliz tilida so'zlashni bilgan, kontekstlar bilan ishlay oladigan emas. Hech kim bilmaydigan grammatika qoidalarini topib kelib o'quvchilarga o'rgatib, maktabingdagi borib o'qituvchilar sindirgan mana shu qoidalar bilan bilammi yo'qmi? Lekin o'zingizda ingliz tili qanday, siz o'zi gapirib bilasizmi, tekstlar bilan ishlay olasizmi desa qizig'i yo'q. Chunki endi vaqt o'tishi bilan lekin baribir nima deydi? Haqiqat qaror topadi deydi-ku. Mana 2019-yili 2014-yildan 2012 yil prezident qarori bilan o'zgartirish, tizimda o'zgartirish, chet tillarni o'zgartirish boshlagandan keyin 2019-yil oxiri sertifikatlash yo'lga qo'yilib, sertifikat bilan lgota berilsin deyilgandan keyin уже mana shu grammatikani qoidalarini suv qilib ichib hech kim bilmaydigan inglizlarni o'zi ham даже bilmaydigan qoidalarni qaysidir kitobdan topib chiqib ishlatadigan o'qituvchilar nima bo'ldi? Bozordan chiqib ketib qoldi. Chunki ingliz tilini o'rgatish 10-15 yil oldin to'g'ri emas edi. Juda ko'p qoladi. Chunki daftarni ochib, qoidani yozib, yodlash edi, lekin o'shani gapirib ishlatchi yoki biror narsani tasvirlashda ishlatchi, qayerda o'zi applicable, qayerda o'zi ishlatsa bo'ladimi degan savolga hech kim deyarli javob bera olmasdi. Hozir o'sha narsa o'zgarib, ko'proq communication uchun, real life uchun ingliz tilini o'rganing degan maqsad qo'yilib, mana endi hozir yoshlarni ko'ryapmiz. Masalan, 2010-yil man jahon tillariga o'qishga kirgan bo'lsam, 205, 210, 15 ball olgan, grammatikadan 36 ishlagan o'quvchilar bor edi, kursdoshlarim, lekin bir og'iz o'zini tanishtirishga qiynalardida ingliz tilini. Lekin menga o'xshaganlar masalan kontrakt oxiriga ilinib kirgan, zo'rg'a ilinib qolgan kontraktga kursdoshlarimiz bor edi. Bizning ingliz tilimiz zo'r edi, chunki biz ingliz tilini qiziqib, o'zimiz gapirishga o'rganib, doimiy qo'shimcha ishlab yurgan o'quvchilar bo'lganmiz. Shuning evaziga boshqa fanlarimizni yaxshi eplay olmaganmiz. We were focusing on single subject, if you know what I'm talking about. Men o'ylayman, eng katta o'zgarish mana shu ingliz tilini to'g'ri o'tishni yo'lga qo'yish, uni davlat tomonidan qo'llab-quvvatlanishi ham oxirgi 10 yil ichida desak, juda katta, juda o'rinli, juda kerakli o'zgarishlar bo'ldi. And that I think is the biggest difference that we, as you said, we switched from grammar based teaching, which was totally based on the number of rules, to more like teaching English for communication, for real life purposes. But
from limited to more abundant.
Yes, Sarvar said, or you said, like one of you guys said, that teacher's authority was never questioned.
Yeah,
right?
I said it. Yeah,
you said. What do you think? What about now? Has image, with these positive changes in teaching English, has the image of an English teacher, of an IELTS instructor, changed in the society? What kind of changes in an English teacher's image do you see in people's eyes?
I mean, it's a kind of a like double question here, and I have mixed feelings about it, because on the one hand, now that this whole teaching English, IELTS and multi-level things have been industrialized on a, I would dare to say, on a republic scale, right? So people would react. So when you say you're an English teacher, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. So yeah, you're probably like making tons of cash, but on the downside, however, most people would react to it like nothing specific. It's like, okay, do you know this and this? Yeah, my brother like someone else.
What's your IELTS score?
Yes, days. Instantly start questioning like your score.
Probably about that image that being changed. As times have changed, teachers are being challenged more. Even more nowadays, and this is actually for the good, for better, as students are also learning, students are also improving, and these teachers are trying to improve their IELTS score, and this is actually improving our teachers as a society, and we're getting to the next level. Teachers are getting to the next level, so I guess like improvement. What I'm trying to say here, we have improved. Teachers have improved. Yeah,
exactly. Well, for me, it's more like, as Sarvar pointed out, since language became like #1 requirement for most of the students, it's mostly about, I think, the money that came because of that. English teachers changed a lot, like image of teachers in many people's eyes. But there is one more thing with these positive developments and initiatives from the government. Now, as you know, there are more than 1,000, probably thousands of teachers who came from abroad and working at different schools around Uzbekistan. How do they compare to our local teachers?
I happen to know several of them, really good friends from the Philippines of mine. Actually, quick shout out to them. Well, the positive thing that I can highlight about this, international cooperation in terms of public education is that they bring here something that is not a common practice around here. So probably new teaching methods, especially with the AI and all the digital tech that has been around for several years, but unfortunately we haven't had tried to get our hands on. So this is one thing.
So what you're trying to say is they bring new experience.
New
teaching.
experience, maybe like new angle of teaching, maybe new approach. And plus, it's also a positive thing for the learners as well because they see someone who's not around here, they get to listen, they get to interact with this person. And from what I have seen, a lot of students have been, passionate about learning English for once in their life because they have a living stimuli in front of their eyes.
Yeah, but let me offer a quick correction here. Those teachers coming from other countries, they're not coming from English-speaking countries. So English is their probably
Second.
not even second, probably a foreign language, just like it is for us.
For us, yeah.
And what I hear from students is most of the students at school actually have better level of English than them.
Yeah. Yeah, let me add to that. So, teachers coming from abroad to teach here in Uzbekistan. Let me start with the positive points. And students in those classes, in those teachers' classes, are forced to speak in English because, because they don't know our L1 language one, like Uzbek language. So students are forced to give questions in English, answer questions in English. Interaction may be improved in a way. And on the other side, they don't have as much knowledge about the culture of Uzbekistan, so the culture may be a problem. How to approach students and how to give instructions. Maybe it may be problematic when it comes to cultural side of things.
Definitely. Well, I think we have a clear stance on foreign teachers, right? Good and bad.
Yeah.
Good because they're they bring new experience, and students get students are exposed to a lot of different things that they would probably otherwise not be.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if I wish government had this, specific criteria for them through which they could, I believe they do have it, but it's probably not strictly implemented. And that's when some of the weak English teachers, bypass that criterion. But in general, they do not only teach English; they teach chemistry, biology, and many other STEM subjects. So I do think that these subjects like teaching physics, math, and many other biology, chemistry subjects, our local teachers have not, majority, I would not say all, majority have not kind of started implementing modern techniques of teaching these subjects, and these foreign teachers could actually be a great force to somehow reconcile or compensate for that. But now there is a very important topic that I would like to discuss with you guys, and I know both of you teach CEFR, like CEFR and IELTS groups, right? By CEFR, I'm not really talking about a European test. I'm talking about multi-level test that is offered by State Testing Center.
Yeah.
It's not State Testing Center, by the way. It's Bilimlarni Baholash Markazi. It's like Center for Assessing the Knowledge now, I guess. Well, anyway, we're going to do this in Uzbek, probably. This part is going to be in Uzbek.
Yeah.
The question, IELTS versus multi-level.
Yeah.
Nima uchun IELTS, nima uchun multi-level, nimasi muammo, nimasi yaxshi. Your views, guys.
In Uzbek?
Yeah.
Okay. IELTSni endi xalq tilida ko'proq kuch bosadi deyishadi. Endi Farruh aka eshitgansiz o'zingiz ham. Masalan, multi level'i bor kandidat ishga kirayotgan payti yoki IELTS sertifikati bor, bir xil daraja, masalan C1 bo'lsa, masalan, baribir IELTS bemalol credibilitysini hisobiga, baribir xalqaro 11 mingta tashkilot tomonidan tan olinganligini hisobiga, plus reputatsiyasi baribir o'sha уже 50-yilga qarab ketayotgan test bo'lgani uchun
Mm.
IELTS so'zsiz tan olinadi. IELTSni kuchi menimcha даже IELTS nimaligini tushunchasi bo'lmagan odam ham shu IELTS deb shu qiyin narsa ekanligini tushunishadi. Multi levelga kelayotgan bo'lsak, endi o'zimni fikrim multi level qanaqadir xalqchil test deb o'zim bilaman. Ya'ni masalan til bilan hammani tilga bo'lgan masalan qobiliyatlari har xil. Qisqa vaqtda o'sha natija kerak bo'lsa, yoki omad faktorini hisobiga yoki o'sha test kamchiliklarini hisobiga shu multi leveldan sekingina o'tib ketib, o'sha niyatlarga erishsa bo'ladi.
Endi shunaqa holatlar bo'lganda, masalan, IELTSdan 7 olgan o'quvchi multi leveldan B2 olgan payti bo'lgan. C1 ga yetmagan payti hamda, lekin IELTS multi leveldan C1 olgan o'quvchi IELTSdan 5.5 olib qolgan paytlari ham bo'lgan. Bu уже mani nazarimda bu ko'rsatadiki, baholashda qayerdadir hali biza mana shu multi level masalasida
rivojlantirish
ekzaminerlarimiz endi mahalliy ekzaminerlar, ular xalqaro standartlardan o'tgan ekzaminerlar emas, qayerdadir oqsaydi menimcha. Baholashda qayerdadir kamchilikka yo'l qo'yiladi. Menimcha buni davlat tan oldi, qaysidir ma'noda desak ham bo'ladi. IELTS ishonchliroq, multi level uncha ham emas, hali ishi bor buni degan. Men aytmoqchi emasman, multi level juda ham yomon, kerak emas bu test. Hamma narsani o'zini davri bor. Sekin-sekin rivojlanib, hozir multi level to'g'ri trayektoriyada deb hisoblayman. Rivojlanib, o'zgarishlar qilib, kerakli o'zgarishlarni qo'yib, testni o'sha credibility'sini oshirishga harakat qilyaptilar. Lekin davlat tan oldi deganda nima demoqchiman? IELTSdan 700 bo'lsa, davlat korxonasi, maktab bo'lsa, masalan 50% ustama sizga belgilangan, lekin 0dan C1 bo'lsa, vaholanki IELTSdan 7 bu C1 degani. Lekin 0dan o'sha multi leveldan C1 bo'lsa, siz 20% ustama olasiz. Daraja bir xil, lekin ustama ikki xil. Shuni o'zi ham menimcha davlat tan olayotganini ko'rsatadi. Hali bizani multi level borasida ishimiz ko'p deb. But I would still like to listen to Asliddin's opinion on this.
Multi level haqida. Multi level da xuddi shunday siz aytganingizdek, hali baholash sistemasida ozgina hali ish bor. Hali rivojlanish kerak. Ayniqsa shu productive skills, speaking va writing, ya'ni yozma va gapirish qismlarida. Siz aytganingizda menda ham o'quvchilar bo'lgan, speakingdan fluent gapiradi o'sha ingliz tilida. They can express their opinion fluently. Lekin IELTSga 6.5, 7larga tushadi. Multi levelda borib topshirib kelyapti-da, ishonib o'tiribman. Listening, readinglar yaxshida, speakingga 45 degani endi B1 da 45 chiqib turibdi. Endi bu ozgina hali speakingda imенно o'sha productive skilllarda ish borligini bildiradi. Lekin listening, readinglari nisbatan yaxshi baholaydi, objective.
Lekin mana hozir multi levelga tayyorlanyapti o'quvchilar. IELTSga tayyorlanyapti. Bu juda yaxshi o'zgarish dedik communication uchun. Lekin shuni ham bir qorong'u tomoni bor-da, like dark side of this change. Ya'ni kim o'quvchilarning mehri, masalan, qiziqishi ingliz tiliga emas, aynan sertifikat olsam degan qiziqishi. Qanchalik bu to'g'ri? Nima masalan metodlar qilasizlarmi, qanaqadir, nimadir pep talklar bo'ladimi? Nima bor o'quvchilarning fikrini o'zgartirishga, qiziqishini oshirishga qaratilgan?
Okay. Sertifikat bu bitta qog'oz, oddiy qog'oz, sertifikat. Ularga ba'zida o'quvchilarimga shuni gapirib turaman, shu endi motivatsion gap emas, shunchaki haqiqat. Sertifikat bu shunchaki qog'oz. Oxirida misol uchun o'sha sertifikating yo'qolib ketsa, bir qanaqadir bekor qilinsa ham, sen ingliz tilini yaxshilab o'rgan, ingliz tilini erta gapirib bilasan, suhbatlashib bilasan, o'sha ma'lumot almashib bilasan, kimdir chet ellik yoki kimdir bilan gaplashishing kerak bo'lsa.
Ularga nima manfaat bundan?
Bu haqiqiy bilim, o'zingda bor bilim yoki qaysidir ma'lumotni qaysidir kitobdan o'sha tilda o'qimoqchisan. Borib ingliz tilida o'qib, tushunib bilasan. Lekin sertifikat bu vaqtincha u juda valid emas.
It's just a test performance, right?
Just a test performance, yes. O'sha kunda qanday ko'rsatdi o'zini, qanday baholab.
Ko'p narsa bog'liq. Kayfiyati, o'sha kundagi sog'lig'i, holati.
There are a lot of factors that contribute to the performance, right? Yeah, it just shows the performance on that day, not like overall
level of English.
Yes.
Can I talk Uzbek?
Yeah.
Okay. til o'rganayotgan payti o'quvchilarga odatda o'zlarini qiziqishlari orqali o'sha tilni kashf qilishni ko'proq o'quvchilarga encourage qilaman. Masalan, o'quvchi biznes sohasiga qiziqadi yoki o'zini o'sha ilm fandagi yoki masalan darsdan tashqaridagi qiziqishlari orqali tilni medium, ya'ni ma'lumot tashuvchi vosita sifatida ishlatib turib, o'sha til orqali o'zlarini sohalaridagi nimadir yangi narsalar qiziqarliroq bo'lishi uchun, quruq bo'lib qolmasligi uchun maybe sort of movies, TV shows, and probably about the culture, because language is not only those formulas, those structures, those
And
samples
vocabulary.
that we teach during our classes. So,
Exactly. And this is the viewpoint that I totally agree with, because mana shu narsani o'quvchilarga yetkazishga qiynaladigan, man kameraga qarab aytaman, siz agar ingliz tilini o'rganmoqchi bo'lsangiz, bu nima desak, bu til, bu bilan odamlar muloqot qiladi, bu bir qaysidir madaniyatni bir qismi hisoblanadi. O'ziga yarasha qarashlari bor bu tilni, o'ziga yarasha traditsiya, o'sha urf odatlari bor, bu tilni o'zini tarixi bor. Uni inkor qilib siz ingliz tilini chuqur o'rgana olmaysiz. Yuzaki o'rganishingiz mumkin, lekin agar tilni yaxshi o'rganaman desangiz, siz albatta har xil turdagi ma'lumot bilan birga o'rganasiz. Endi bu degani yo'q, bo'ldi o'zingizni madaniyatingizni esdan chiqaring emas. Yo'q, bag'rikeng bo'ling. Yangicha madaniyat, yangicha qarashlarni ham qabul qila biling. Bo'lmasam tilni o'rganish jarayoni siz uchun anchalik murakkab bo'lib ketishi mumkin. Now, as a final point, I think we can switch back to English, right? As a
Yeah.
final point in this conversation, in this podcast, let's talk about common misconceptions, like in teaching English. Common misconceptions that are particularly driven by, not maybe driven, but carried, let's say. Miscarriage. This misconception. Miscarriage. Let's talk about these common misconceptions that come from parents and their children, obviously. What misconceptions do you come across?
Okay, actually, I had something really good and something really bothering here. Had it in mind. So there are a lot of posters and billboards that are being advertised by these language centers and educational centers, and some of them claim to get a student 7.5 or 8 in a very short amount of time, as short as 3 months, maybe 6 months, right? And but when parents see it, often they perceive it as like 3 months, 6 months is enough, like from the get-go, from starter to like 7.5, which is actually insane. It cannot be believed. So but what they language centers don't tell is that you should be intermediate at least, or you should be upper intermediate, and then we can prepare you for IELTS in 3 months, and then you can get this score and that score.
So they don't talk about it in their ads.
Yeah, this is something that is misleading, that
Yeah.
misleads parents actually, and they come to the center and they ask, so how much time does my child have to study to get 7.5, let's say. And when you say the real truth, like a year, more than a year, it may take more than a year, depending on the situation, depending on the student's dedication and resilience. When you say the real truth, and they get, come on, this is not the case. I mean, I've seen these posters saying that 3 months, 6 months. I mean, yeah, this is
You're going to rip me off, right?
yeah.
I'm not going to pay you more than I
Yeah,
should.
yeah. You're just ripping me off, getting my money. That's it.
Yeah, most of the parents look at, learning English, teaching their, like sending their children to English courses, let's say. They look at it as like a software installation process. They think that once they give their card details and pay the amount of money that the software requires, they start like install. They click on that install, and then there is like percentage going on, right?
yeah.
Most of the parents think it works that way. In reality, it doesn't work that way.
Yes, it never does.
Yeah. Sarvar, would you like to add?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what Asliddin said, like unreal expectations, and plus, so when a learner starts to progress, of course, in the beginning, there happens this moment of struggle, right? Maybe for a month. For different learners, it takes different amount of time, of course, but nonetheless. And then at this time, parents usually start calling or start having this face-to-face, meetups, and say like, why is not my child installing? Back to your point about that installation,
Software.
yeah, software. They think most of the parents nowadays used to the way examinations used to be, like those 30, 36 questions, like grammar questions, and they think their children focus only in English as a subject. However, during the no matter what test they take, IELTS or multi-level, they have to show different abilities in different sections of those two tests.
No.
So yeah.
But again, these posters and
Yes.
these ads on Instagram, I think we teachers are responsible for that. Do you think we need to call out those teachers who do that, who like make false promises?
Uh, Maybe, yeah, we should, I mean, maybe privately talk about it, and like try to explain them that it can be like really bothering and concerning in the future.
Yeah. What if you get a message like "None of your business"?
It's okay, so it's their business.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that it takes time for parents to get educated about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like for parents awareness to increase about what works and what doesn't, because we need sufficient number of parents going to those courses that promise
Yeah.
like 7 in 2 3 months, and when they like get ripped off
Yeah.
there, they will probably understand, wait a second, so whenever I see this kind of ad, I'm gonna like avoid that next time, right? So we need sufficient number of parents to fall into that,
yeah.
which actually makes a lot of money to those scammers.
Nice.
What about other misconceptions that students usually have?
Students usually expect it to be like easy, unrealistically easy. Like they think, okay, I'm coming to this teacher, for example, he has band 8.5, band 9, he talks really cool, and I want to be able to talk cool. They don't they don't want to do the work that they're supposed to do. They don't want to work outside the class. They don't want to spend the time, but they want to have your skills at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
Mm.
Yes.
Exactly.
And again, I think this is about that clip culture thing, that we have those short videos and everything getting faster and faster, that students want their results like, I want to get band 7 in 2 months. I want to get like B2 in by December, and they just kind of start pushing you by this unrealistic schedules.
Yeah,
And if you tell them the truth, usually they're the ones who get upset.
exactly. And their parents,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because sometimes it's like it's 2 months, right? And you
Yeah.
tell them your kid is not ready to register for band 7 yet. He's scoring like 5.5 and 6, and they're like, no, 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 let's register. We need the certificate now. He will get 7, don't worry. And it's like, you're worried because
Yeah.
the kid's scores in mock tests, right?
Yeah.
And then you register them, and then they end up like with 5.5 or 6, and they're like, why is not 7? Because because I told you it wasn't 7 yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking about that point where students want to have your skills, neglecting the amount of work that you've put, like into that. It's not even me saying that. It's not even me. It is a very popular English. Let's say it's not even proverb. It's just a.
Saying.
Cool.
It's just a quote, probably.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who said that, but I remember reading it somewhere. Everybody wants to enjoy really nice steak,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody wants to
So-
chop the cow.
Job to
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody wants to look at that beautifully made steak,
yeah.
but people don't want to really, go and chop the cow.
That's amazing.
So I think that's a concise explanation of what
Yeah.
happens, what goes through the mind of a student.
Yeah.
Asliddin, do you have any additions to this?
I'm probably
Student misconceptions.
student misconceptions. Yeah, like the same as Sarvar here mentioned it. They set unrealistic expectations of them achieving something in a very short time, and neglecting the amount of work that they are supposed to put in. And that they like beginners, let's say, they think that they pay for the class and they come to the class, sit and spend 2 hours, and that's it. That's gonna get them whatever they want. And actually, it's not. It's like let's say like 40, maybe 30% of what actually needed to be done. However, they need to work a lot outside the class, and the things, the extracurricular activities. Yeah, there's a lot.
What is the ratio, would you say, for the student success? The ratio of the amount of work the teacher and student does? Like for me, it's usually I say to my students like 90% it's your job, 10% is mine.
Yeah. I would actually agree with that, because students do a lot at the end of the day. But we guide them. We show them whenever they need to study, improve a certain skill. We tell them how to improve that skill, and with small tweaks in every single step of the way, we guide them, and they need to, well, let's say, do the job, right? They need to do the job. We tell them how to do it, when to do it, right?
Yeah. So basically, again, I think it was Noam Chomsky who said this. You can explain things to people, but you cannot understand it for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, understanding is when students understand. That's the most important part of teaching, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're covering. What matters is what students discover.
Yes.
Again, I'm quoting Noam Chomsky here. I'm a big Chomskyan fan. I watch a lot of videos, and I suggest you guys do that too. Well, today, as I've said, I think it's time to wrap up our conversation. Today, as I've said, we've kind of went from our traditional way of inviting guests from other places, and we focused on teachers currently employed at IELTS school. I hope that you guys got some meaningful context for you, and perhaps a couple of tips to learn English. Well, as I said, today with you in the studio, it was me and these two brilliant teachers. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the next episode.